The foundation for growth and improvement in any organization, of course, what we have been seeing so far is about driving lean as a culture, lean as a mindset, lean as a strategic enabler. So all those things are required. So along with which we want to bring in certain other elements, we want to talk about it, touch about it, and bring context to how we can link lean to these various areas. The first one is strategic planning execution. Naveen talked about it as part of the EFQM business excellence model. He talked about the strategic area. SSA specializes into balanced scorecard planning execution models, which helps to bring about how do you go about strategizing and creating your future from a future which NC talked about. So that part is very essential in terms of continuity and perpetuity. The second bit which I have seen in this particular region is about ERP. Most organizations are going through a transition phase wherein they are looking to upgrade their existing automated systems, their ERP systems, and are at a stage where they are looking at, because there is a transition which is happening in terms of moving from on-premise deployed ERP systems to going to the cloud. So all organizations are looking at this point of time. It is a crucial decision-making point. A lot of investment has to be made. So how do you link lean and your ERP systems? What are the touch points? Becomes very crucial to evaluate. So the first one, lean plus ERP implementation. What I have seen when organizations want to implement ERP is you call in the ERP vendors and then they come and try to sell why is their solution the best for you. And then you have the ERP provider and you have a partner organization who will come to implement that particular solution. So the partner will try to sell again how you need to not do any changes, go as far as possible with the best in class, because a lot of investments have gone. They have the process already defined. So you want to, as far as possible, use the standard ERP processes. So that is the story which gets told to you. Unfortunately, what doesn't get looked into detail is how do we work and how do we link these best practices in. And this is where SSA talks about doing an process efficiency assessment in terms of understanding, are our processes lean in first place, and are people ready for the change of the ERP, and how do you go about implementing the ERP. So you want to take it in a stage process wherein the people realize the need for a change and then the change is being implemented. The next topic which I want to touch upon is on DDMRP, which is demand-driven material requirements planning. So materials requirement planning is done at a strategic level, at a tactical level, at an operational level. So you do a planning in terms of creating annual contracts with your vendors. You do it at a tactical level in terms of planning your month, and day to day you do your procurement in terms of saying how and when which materials need to come in, when it has to come in. So one of the key areas when we worked with a lot of manufacturing organizations is the struggle which they have in terms of getting this right, getting it visually. A lot of times we find this is a very much person-dependent process, even though we have the MRP in the system, but still there are few people who hold guard about in terms of how the planning has to be done, and they hold the nuances of knowing which is critical, which is not critical, and then directing the team. Now, if you look at the challenges of inventory planning, in inventory planning, I think NC talked about it, a lot of people talked about it. The challenges which we are seeing today is shorter customer tolerance, more product variety, long lead time parts and components, shorter product life cycles, pressure for leaner inventories, and inaccurate forecast, right? So that is one of the challenges of the traditional ERP systems, is that even though we have these systems, people will have some kind of an Excel sheet in which they will do their last minute corrections, planning in terms of saying that this material is to be replaced with this particular material, or some other changes have to be done, and hence the procurement has to be different. So the challenges are that the MRP becomes a little bit rigid in terms of how it has been designed into the whole ERP framework. So what is DDMRP? DDMRP is primarily a new approach to plan the right size inventory and achieve highest delivery performance. Two contradictory statements. So you're saying that I'm going to reduce the inventory levels and increase your delivery performance. It's a planning and execution approach for combining your forecasting and your demand pull. So you have in your organization both made to stock items and made to order items. So how can you combine these two elements and still deliver effectively? That's what DDMRP does. And it covers the business right from your planning processes, right from your forecasting, to your order processing, to your procurement, to your inventory management, and covers the entire value chain. It promises on-time delivery performance over 95%, inventory reduction close to 30%, and it's a very easy, intuitive process, removes the people dependencies, makes it very visual in terms of how people can manage inventories. So that's touching upon DDMRP. We are affiliates of the Demand Driven Institute, which promotes and gives certification programs across the globe on this element. Now, bringing the context and connecting it to lean. Now, what happens is how Industry 4.0 helps lean. Typically in lean, what happens is you look at past performance, you look at why things are not working the way it is, and there are events which are there on your right there, and you do analysis, you do root cause analysis of why things are not working while it should be, and then countermeasures are initiated, actions are taken, implementation plans are made, and then deployed. So typically what happens is the time when you realize there is a problem to the time when it is actually solved and implemented, the amount of time being taken is significant in terms of 3 to 4 months or 6 months, in some cases up to 8 months, depending on the size of the project. What Industry 4.0 is trying to achieve is trying to reduce all these timelines by providing you data the minute an event occurs, by providing you ability to do the analysis through visual dashboards, by providing you with the countermeasures automatically in terms of saying that what changes need to be done and providing that logic to you. So that is where Industry 4.0 and Lean get interlinked in terms of driving efficiencies and improvements. So this, what Industry 4.0 finally drives, as you go through this journey from the stage 1 to stage 6, what you drive is you reduce inventory cost, you reduce manufacturing cost, your people dependency comes down, your labor costs go down, your logistics costs go down, quality costs come down, you drive flexibility, you're unlocking more capacity and making yourself available. And these are what the measures which we look at as we go through the Industry 4.0 journey. Thank you.